People paid phone bills, their cable, and a whole assortment of other expenses. But it's all being simplified, and there is a lot of cost reduction, right? Food. A lot of people would argue food, but the thing is, most people don't even eat in the supermarket, so it doesn't comply, this argument. You know, even if food were to double in the supermarket, these habits of eating out are so ingrained that people would eat themselves into debt, because it's so obvious now. And like I can see with my own eyes, but I've read a few Bloomberg articles stating the same fact, but it's so obvious. There's no need to read the article. You can just observe by the the behavior of everyone around you, right? So let's keep going. Is there a tangible and consistent means of rewarding your employees? That's a very good question, right? You know, we would like to be able to simplify a process and have it like outlined so that people could simply say, oh, you're here now, and so now you'll progress to this one. But what it fails to address is that the person who's making the intangible decision and the variability of the decision based on biases of where someone stands. And so it's very challenging, because you're still relying on a person of bias. You know, it's very common that the drama queens and the people who are not so easy to get along with in the company are actually producing some of the best value, right? Within sales organizations, those individuals who may be perceived as lazy, or they might even fall asleep at the office, they're actually producers, So it's very difficult to address all of these issues, and that's why it's very important you contact us, info at opportunity, to discuss further about your situation and how this tool will be applicable to your business. So a lot of companies, they have a HR director, or they have someone, including people in management, playing a role in the actual decisions in regards to compensation, and the variability of the decisions can be biased based on what time of day, right? So right after lunch is probably the best time to go in for a job interview, right? You don't want to come in before lunch, because most people are agreeable just thereafter. I think there's a lot of studies for people for criminals who are going in for probation. It's something like, it's skewed. You're 75% more likely to get probation from a judge who's eaten lunch. I mean, and just in that same way, your person who's hiring will have a tendency to be more agreeable simply from the time of day. So what, are you even applying data to these compensation packages? Or have you been delegated a threshold, but that's a threshold. That doesn't necessarily mean that someone reaches that point. But if you're more agreeable, simply because it's time of the day, and you're coming in and the individual's very attractive, and they're well spoken, are they going to reach that threshold sooner if this person might look disheveled, or they seem awkward or strange, or so you would compensate them less? So what's your data aggregation strategy for compensating individuals. How do you know? People within your organization, if they're producing value for your company, how are you addressing that? How are you aggregating the data to be able to realize what value do they have and how much should you compensate them for? So it's a very serious discussion, because if you fail to analyze and realize this, you may in fact lose a lot of high quality individuals within your organization. So it's not something that we should take lightly, and in fact it might be one of the most important facets of running a business is compensation, right? How much people are being paid at the end of the day. And this is outside of culture or the actual operations of the business, but simply the numerical component of compensation, including benefits they found that benefits actually, if you include benefits, you can actually end up paying your workers less, and they'll feel more satisfied in that regard, because they won't need to address those costs for themselves. And the business has a net benefit because they can write that off, depending where you are in the world, but typically you can write off those benefit programs from your corporate taxes. So that's the end of the presentation, but I would like to come back to studies have shown that a number of compensation packages strategies actually increase turnover and dissuade workers from increasing output. So it's very fascinating, you know. If there have been a few studies done in Silicon Valley where they have increased salaries at Oracle. Oracle is a database management company. It's like the fourth largest software company out of the United States. First, what we got? What's number one? Maybe Apple. We have Google, Facebook, Microsoft, and then the fifth one maybe Oracle, right? So they found that when they have increased the salaries of their software engineers, they've actually produced less. The quality of their output has decreased because by increasing someone's salary, you're signaling that they're of greater value. And what happens is, these are some gross assumptions that I've read in a blog post based on this study and some commentary. I forget, I can't recall where or when I read this blog or the website, but just simply from the top of my head. But I think a lot of it holds true, is that when you compensate somebody more, what you're doing is you're signaling you are a high quality individual and you deserve to get paid more for the work that you do. Now somebody will take this and they can say, great, I'm being rewarded. Now, because you're paying me more, that means that I'm valuable. So if I'm so valuable, I can in turn render less output and probably still keep my position. What is the net benefit for me to increase the quality of my output or increase work rendered, tasks executed upon? Because you are signaling that this person is a rare commodity, right? They fall